You already know, peoples. It's your favorite bean eating mofo fresh off the banana boat. Big Lou tapping on in with what it do with Big Lou, NFZR2, baby, baby. Sorry, late, fell asleep, woke up, gonna knock this video out and take it back down. Got 2 more days off this week and back to work Monday. Uh, gonna address the viewers as always. If this is the first time you're coming to the channel at What It Do with Big Lou, it'd be highly appreciated if you sub, liked, and shared the channel with your family, friends, folks, peoples, gente, your camaradas, your comrades, your associates, your socios, your amigos, your panas, your buddies, your pals. And be sure to drop comments, and I respond back to all the comments. As you see, the thumbnail, it's about two of the greatest smaller fighters of boxing, the 118 pound, the 126 pound fighters, which are bantamweight, super bantamweight, and featherweight. Two of the top three of all time at that during that time, but also just plain and simply top guys ever. And the other being Salvador Sanchez, who beat both of these guys, Wilfredo Gomez and Azuma Nelson. Going to start with Wilfredo Gomez Rivera, born on October 29, 1956, sometimes referred to as Bazooka Gomez, Bazooka being his nickname. He's a professional Puerto Rican boxer, 3-time world champion. He's currently mentioned among the best Puerto Rican of all time of boxing, along with Felix Tito Trinidad, Miguel Ángel Cotto, Wilfredo Benítez, El Radar, Esteban de Jesus, Edwin El Chapo Rosario, Carlos Ortiz, José Torre, también Wilfredo Vázquez Sr., and Manua, right? He fought in the super bantamweight, featherweight, and super featherweight divisions. He stands 5'5.5", and he has a 66.5 reach. Like I said, he's born on October 29, 1956, making him 65 years old, and he's born in Alto Rey, Puerto Rico. He fought orthodox. 48 total fights as a professional, 44 of those by wins, with 42 of those by knockout, 3 losses and 1 draw. He won gold medals in the World Amateur Championships back in Havana in '74. He has 18 consecutive knockouts and championship defenses in one division. Is a record for all boxing divisions. He was ranked number 13 on the Ring Magazine's list of 100 greatest punchers of all time. And in 1995, he was inducted into the Boxing Hall of Fame. So he was born in a poor area of Las Monjas of Alto Rey in San Juan, Puerto Rico. He's the son of Jacobo Gomez and Julia Rivera. Gomez himself reportedly used a bicycle as means of transportation when he was young, and he sold candy to earn pocket money before becoming an amateur boxer. Right? After his debut, he reeled off a streak of 32 consecutive knockouts, including wins over Fuentes, who was dispatched in the second round. In 2 rounds and a rematch, and future world champion Alberto Davila, who lasted 9 rounds before being defeated. His 32 consecutive knockouts place him in 3rd place, tied with Devontae Wilder, and behind Lamar Clark, 44, and Billy Fox, 43, for all-time knockout streaks. Gomez's knockout streak caught the eye of WBC and lineal super bantamweight champion Dong Kayun Yum of South Korea, who traveled to San Juan, Puerto Rico, to defend his crown against Gomez. Yum had a promising start, dropping Gomez 30 seconds into the fight, but Gomez picked himself up and eventually won the crown, his first world title, with a 12-round knockout. His second defense His second defense took him to Tokyo, where he beat former world champion Royal Kobayashi in 3 rounds. Kobayashi had lasted 5 rounds with Alexis Aguayo. Next was Sagat Pechindi in a small city of Thailand. He lasted 2 rounds. Pechindi later became a world champion Thai and kickboxer and famous actor in Thailand. Gomez's streak reached 32 knockouts in a row, including what is generally considered to be his biggest victory ever, a 5-round defeat of bantamweight champion Carlos Zarate, who was 55-0 with 54 knockouts coming into their San Juan bout. Also included in that streak was future world champion Leo Cruz, beaten in 13 rounds, and Derek Holmes, knocked out in 5 rounds in a fight that was attended by Sylvester Stallone, Carl Weathers, and Alexis Aguayo. After recording his 32nd knockout win in a row, he moved up in weight to face the world featherweight champion Salvador Sanchez of Mexico. But as we all know, he lost by TKO in the 8th round, which that's one of the big rivalries, Mexico-Puerto Rico. Gomez, unfortunately for Gomez, he became just like Wilfredo Benitez, and after him was Edwin El Chapo Rosario, and Hector Macho Man Camacho, who they dabbled and dabbled in drugs and alcohol a lot, and they didn't take their training serious. And he was beaten. And not to say that if he did take his training more seriously, that he would have beat Salvador Sanchez, because Salvador Sanchez was a beast. But I think he would have done a lot better. And so he was gonna have a rematch with Salvador Sanchez. I don't know if it was official as far as being on the books and them having a date set, but unfortunately, Sanchez died in a car wreck and he passed away. So, like I was saying, he was hoping to get that rematch, and Gomez went back to the super bantamweight division, where he got a dispense from WBC to make 2 preparation bouts before defending his title again. He did so and won 2 non-title bouts, both by knockout in the 2nd round. One over Jose Luis Soto, who was a stablemate of Julio Cesar Chavez back in Culiacan, Mexico. Wins over future world champ Juan Kid Mesa, knocked out in 6 rounds in Atlantic City, and Juan Antonio Lopez knocked out in 10 as part of the Larry Holmes, Jerry Cooney undercard. But all chances of a rematch with Sanchez, like I had mentioned, was done when he was in that car accident outside of Mexico City the morning of August 12, 82. Boxing fans across Latin America mourned the tragedy. Gomez, who was training to defend against Mexican Roberto Rubaldino, only 5 days later took a trip to Mexico to offer Sanchez flowers and then returned back to the island that same afternoon. He beat Rubaldino in the 8th round with a knockout and made one more title defense against Mexican bantamweight world champ Lupe Pintor in Carnival de Campeones in New Orleans, and he won that by knockout in the 14th round. Pintor contest was the only time when Gomez fought was showcased on HBO, which at the time exclusively showcased the largest boxing fights, much like a pay-per-view system of today, right? By the time he was done with junior featherweights, Gomez had established a division record of 17 defenses and a world record of most defenses in a row won by knockout. All his defenses finishing before the established distance time, right? So then he moved up to featherweight, the featherweight division. He then retried winning the featherweight title, and this time he achieved his dream, winning his 2nd world title by dethroning Juan Laporte, which is another Puerto Rican fighter who had won the title left vacant after Sanchez died. He beat Laporte by a 12-round unanimous decision. This time, however, he didn't enjoy a lengthy title reign because he ends up going up against the other guy. That's the other part of the thumbnail here, Azuma Nelson, and of Ghana, and he knocked him out in 11 rounds on December 8th of 84. Gomez wanted either a rematch with Nelson or a shot at the WBA and lineal junior lightweight world champion Rocky Lockridge of New Jersey, whichever came first. Lockridge was first offered to Gomez a try, and the two battled a closely scored 15-round bout in San Juan, with Gomez being given a majority 15-round decision, which many experts have said Lockridge deserved, but also which, in the opinion of most, saw it live was a justified decision. Around this time, he became a short-lived career. Around this time, he began a shortly lived career as a boxing broadcaster. He specifically covered the Victor, what was his last? I don't know how to pronounce his last name. I think it was Victor Callejas or something like Callejas, I think I guess, and the Loris Steca rematch from Italy for Puerto Rico's VAPA TV, and Callejas ended up winning by TKO in the 6th round. But some local matches involving Alberto Mercado and Juan Carrazzo in Puerto Rico for the Teleonce. This reign also came to a quick end, Gomez being handed his 3rd loss at the hands of young Alfredo Lane by knockout in 9 rounds. Lane lost the title in his own first defense to South Africa's Brian Mitchell, and it became obvious Gomez's best years had gone by, and then he retired, right? His last fights in retirement, Gomez tried a comeback in 1988 and 89, but after winning 2 more bouts by knockout, he realized boxing wasn't in his heart anymore, and he retired for good. He later moved to Venezuela, where he ran into drug problems, causing him with trouble in the law, spending some time in jail. He attended a rehabilitation center in Colombia. Gomez rebounded and is now back in Puerto Rico, where he has managed to stay off drugs. He helped Hector Macho Camacho with training of Camacho's son, Hector Jr., who was in boxing in the junior welterweight division in 98. Gomez became a born-again Christian, right? In May of 2003, Gomez returned to Panama, where he was received by Roberto Duran, and Eusebio Pedroza, among others. In a message greeted towards Panamanians, he expressed thanks to that country, calling it his second country and saying, among other things, I'm very motivated that I now will return to Puerto Rico. No one should be surprised if I buy an apartment in Panama and move my family here. However, he bought a house in Orlando, Florida in 06, right? Gomez had a record of 44 wins, 3 losses, and 1 draw with 42 knockouts. In 78, he was named Boxing Illustrated's Fighter of the Year. He is now a member of the International Boxing Hall of Fame. And Gomez was the greatest super bantamweight ever in the 2014 by Houston Boxing Hall of Fame. The Houston Boxing Hall of Fame also is a voting body composed totally of current and former fighters. In 2003, a biographical film entitled Bazooka, The Battles of Wilfredo Gomez, was produced by Cinemar Films. The documentary was directed by Mario Diaz and filmed in New York City. He had 3 daughters, Jennifer, Gia, and Liz, Irina, and 1 son, Wilfredo Jr. He's good friends with Panamanian boxing legend Roberto Duran and former Puerto Rico boxing commissioner and boxing champion Victor Callejas. Gomez declared that fighting Arrada was his idol as a child. Gomez is married to Carolina Gamboa. On April 17, 2015, Gomez was arrested by Puerto Rican police after allegedly hitting his 59-year-old companion. So he got in a little trouble here and there. British boxer Michael Gomez adopted his last name from Armstrong to Gomez as a homage to Wilfredo, who was his childhood idol. I put that in there because it was kind of fun. I'm saying that because it was kind of funny. Both the Wilfredo Gomez boxing gym and the Complejo Deportivo Wilfredo Gomez sporting complex is in Guaynabo, are named after him, right? Obviously. These are some of the guys, some of the big names he beat: Rocky Lockridge, Juan Laporte, Ivan Samuco, Lupe Pintor, Juan Antonio Lopez, Roberto Rubaldino, Juan Mesa, Derek Holmes, Jose Cervantes, Carlos Zarate, Leonardo Cruz, Sakad Pechindi, Juan Antonio Lopez, Royal Kobayashi, and Deng Kayang Yum, who he won his first belt from. Alberto Davila, Andres Hernandez. And his first fight was a draw. I want to make that clear, with Jacinto Fuentes, and they fought at Gimnasio Nuevo Panama, Panama City, Panama. Right? He fought a lot of fights in Panama. His first fight was in Panama. His second fight was in Costa Rica. Third, fourth, fifth, sixth fight were also in Panama. Then he fought in Nicaragua, Managua, Nicaragua. Then Puerto Rico, majority Puerto Rico. He fought also in Japan, in Thailand. He finally fought in New York City at Madison Square Garden in '79, where he retained the WBC Super Bantamweight title, and he won the Rings Super Bantamweight title. He fought in Nevada first time in September 28, '79, Caesar's Palace, where he retained the WBC and the Ring Super Bantamweight titles. He fought once in Florida in 1980, where he retained the WBC Bantamweight and the Ring title. He fought first time in Atlantic City in '82, where he retained the WBC and the Ring Super Bantamweight titles. He fought in Louisiana in the Superdome against Lupe Pintor, where he retained the WBC and the Ring Super Bantamweight. Again, he fought in Florida, Miami. And then his last fight was in Florida at the Hallandale against Mario Salazar, which was in '89. So he lost. His losses are to first to Salvador Sanchez, Azuma Nelson, and Alfredo Lane. Right. That's who he fought. And 44 wins, and 44 of them wins. 44 wins, and 42 of them were by knockout. That's pretty huge. It's pretty huge there. And like I said, he's one of the greatest Puerto Rican fighters of all time. My favorite is Trinidad, because that's my era. You know what I mean? Cotto was probably, he's there, but Alfredo Gomez is there. Benitez is there because of Benitez becoming a world champion at 17. You know what I mean? So now we're talking Azuma Nelson. He was known by the Professor, right? Zoom Zoom and the Terrible Warrior. He's born Azuma Nelson on July 19, 1958 in Ghana. He competed from '79 to 2008. He was a two-weight world champion, having held the WBC featherweight title from '84 to '87 and the WBC super featherweight title twice between 1988 and 1997. He's challenged once for the unified WBC and IBF lightweight titles in '90. And at the regional level, he held the ABU and Commonwealth featherweight titles between '80 and '82. Widely considered one of the greatest African boxers of all time. He is currently ranked as the 31st greatest pound-for-pound boxer of all time by BoxRec. So he competed at the featherweight, super featherweight, and lightweight. He was 5'5" with a 68-inch reach. Like I said, he was born July 19, 1958, making him 64 years old. He fought orthodox. He had a total of 47 fights, 39 wins, 28 coming by way of knockout, 6 losses, and 2 draws. He's got 2 gold medals, the Commonwealth Games in 1978 in Edmonton at featherweight, and also All Africa Games 1978 Algiers featherweight. Despite all his early achievements being undefeated in 13 fights, Nelson was virtually unknown outside of Ghana. Because of this, he was a decisive underdog when, on a short notice, he challenged WBC featherweight champion Salvador Sanchez on July 22nd, 1982 at Madison Square Garden in New York. Nelson lost the fight by 15-round knockout. And it just, Salvador Sanchez, his stature, he was long and thinner, and he was just able to manhandle these guys, these smaller guys at 5'5", you know what I mean? Nelson also won all 4 of his fights in 83. He began 84 by beating Hector Cortez by decision on March 9th in Vegas. Then on December 8th, that same year, he became boxing royalty by knocking out Wilfredo Gomez in 11 rounds to be the WBC featherweight champion, which is the other guy on the thumbnail. What's up, Steve Tortola? Baby, baby. What's up, my Italian Canadian brother? Behind on all 3 judges' scorecards at the time, Nelson rallied in the last round to become champion in Puerto Rico by knocking out Wilfredo Gomez. Super featherweight, Nelson began 88 by defeating Mario Martinez by a split decision over 12 rounds in LA to win the vacant WBC super featherweight title. Nelson was dropped in the 10th round of their encounter, and the decision was not well received. On December 1st, 1995, defeated world champion Gabriel Ruelas in the 5th round to claim the title. His first defense took place almost a year later when he and Leja had their 3rd bout. Nelson, and I believe that's Jesse James Leja. I didn't write down his first name when I'm reading back these notes. Nelson retained the title with a 6-round knockout, as had become his common practice. That was the only time Nelson fought in 96. In 97, Nelson lost the lineal title and the WC titles to Gennaro Hernandez, who beaten him on points in 12 rounds. The Zuma Nelson Sports Complex at Kenishi in Accra was named after him. In 2014, biography of Zuma Nelson was published, written by Ashley Morrison. It was titled "The Professor: The Life Story of Azuma Nelson." Azuma has a son, Zuma Nelson Jr., who Nelson is training as a boxer. In 2018, Azuma organized a fight night to celebrate his 60th birthday at the Buckham Boxing Arena. This event brought together fighters from highly rated gyms in the country to fight contenders in their divisions. Like I mentioned, he has a total of 46 professional fights, 38 wins, 27 by knockout, 11 wins by decision, 6 losses. He got 1 loss by knockout and 5 losses by decision. He's got 2 draws. So before he retired, he lost 3 fights in a row by well-named guys: Jeff Fenech, Jesse James Leja, and Gennaro Hernandez. Majority decision against Fenech, unanimous decision against Jesse James Leja, and a split decision against Gennaro Hernandez. But he did beat Jesse James Leja in his 43rd fight, his 4th to last fight, and then he lost to him their first bout. Actually, they fought 4 times, excuse me. He also beat Gabriel Ruelas and twice, right? And he's let's see, make sure I get this right. He's got 1 win against Leja, 2 losses against Leja, and 1 draw against Jesse James Leja. He also has beat Jeff Fenech, and so he's 1 win, 1 loss, and 1 draw against Jeff Fenech. He beat Juan Laporte, and he lost to Pernell Whitaker. He beat Mario Martinez and Jim McDonald. He beat Martinez twice. He also beat Marcos Villasana and Danilo Cabrera. Actually, he beat Villasana twice. And then Pat Codell, he's got the win over Wilfredo Gomez, which was his 21st fight. And then he lost in his 14th bout against Salvador Sanchez, which I believe was probably too early. Actually, I don't think he would have beat Sanchez either way, because Sanchez was just a different type of animal. He was a different beast. So his first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fights were in Ghana, and then he fought his 7th fight in Lome, Togo. His 8th fight, he went back to Ghana. His 9th fight, he fought in Bakersfield, California, against Miguel Ruiz. And then he fought back in Ghana, Sierra Leone, Zambia, and then finally he fought Sanchez in his 14th fight in Madison Square Garden. Next fight was in New Jersey, and then he fought in Cleveland, Vegas, Richfield, Ohio, Nigeria, Vegas. Then he went to fight Wilfredo Gomez in Puerto Rico. He's fought in Florida. He's fought in England, California, LA against Marco Villasana. He Fought again in Puerto Rico against Danilo Cabrera. He fought in Vegas, LA, Marcos Villasana the second time. Inglewood against Mario Martinez, Jersey, Ghana, Vegas, England. Vegas against Pernell Whitaker, New South Wales against Juan Laporte. That's a trip. He fought in Spain against Daniel Ennen. He fought in Vegas against Fenech. He fought in Australia against Fenech. Calvin Grove, he fought in Nevada. He fought Gabriel Ruelas in Mexico. He fought Jesse James Leja once in Texas, once in Nevada, twice in Nevada, excuse me. He fought Gennaro Hernandez in Texas. He fought Gabriel Ruelas the other time in Indio, California. And Jeff Fenech again in Australia. Let's see. Zuma Nelson, Zuma Nelson is known as one of the greatest African fighters. Off the top of my head, African fighters, only ones that come to my mind is Ike Corte, which I believe he's from Ghana as well. John Mugabe. Trying to think who else is from Africa that I can remember off the top of my head. Let's see. Those are the only ones I can remember. Let's see. Let's see what comes up. Let's see. Yeah, it's not really. Let me see. Franz Botha, even though he's what, I guess South African. Let's see. Let's see what it comes up with. Yeah, I don't know. I guess those are only three I can remember. Black Hat Music. Question for you. Maybe you know. Besides Mugabe, Zuma Nelson, and Ike Corte, what other can you think of any African boxer greats? Those are the only ones that come to my mind, and I'm trying to Google. I'm trying to Google African boxers, and I can't find nothing. I know there's not a lot. Just woke up. Yeah, me too. I almost messed up there. Let's see. Yeah, all these names I do not recognize. They don't even have Mugabe's name there. Zuma Nelson's first, and it's got Welcome Nichita, Jerry Coetzee. I don't know if these guys are really boxers or not. I mean, they're really and look at Africa's greatest boxers ahead. Let's see what this says. So the pictures you got, I see Ike Corte. Okay, I see Mugabe's picture. I threw in Franz Brotha in there because he's actually African, right? Frank Bruno was born in, yeah, but he claims Britain. Oh, well, I mean, if that's the case, a lot of these guys are, Jamaican or Trinidad, such as what's his name, Nigel Benn, all them guys. They're all got, either from the islands or from Africa blood. You know what I mean? Um, yeah, these guys are all. This list I found here are all current boxers. Um, Demetrius Andrade, he's from Cape Verdean, so that's one. He's got to be up there because he's accomplished a lot. Badu Jack, I guess, but he's from Gambia. He's the next champion, and then they got Anthony Joshua, Nigerian. See, so um, I guess there it is. There, right? Greatest African fighters of all time. Let's see what this says. A lot of these buttons I hit, I had to become a member in order to get the information to read them. Um, The former WO Super Bantamweight World Champion Dogbo was born in okay. Okay, Zuma Nelson already. That's who this is about. Dick Tiger. Uh, I Corte, 37 4-1, 31 knockouts, which I already mentioned him. Brian Mitchell. Oh, yeah, Brian Mitchell was another one I forgot about. I don't know if he ever held he held the WBA and ring super featherweight titles. John Mugabe, who I already mentioned. I don't think John Mugabe held a belt though, did he? I'm not sure about that. I don't. Well, let's see. In '86, he challenged for the WBC, WBA, IBF, Ring Magazine, and Little Middleweight titles. Which, oh yeah, so he had everything. Uh, Hagler had them all the belts when they fought at middleweight. So yeah, there's not really many African champions. Like I said, a lot of these guys, Nigel Benn, and I just found what's his name was uh Joshua's roots are from Nigeria. And then, like Black Cat Music said, Bruno was born in Mali, but raised in England. So, it's kind of like even with Lennox Lewis, he's Jamaican, raised in England too. There wasn't a white guy from South Africa in the 90s who they thought was the next big thing. Well, I think Franz Botha, they thought something about him. He was competitive, but he couldn't get past Tyson or Lennox Lewis or a lot of those guys. You know what I mean? Actually, I thought he was doing a good job against Tyson until he got nice. Tyson caught him. Nice working now, bro. I'll watch later. Have a wonderful day. Yeah, Steve Tortola jumped in. Black Cat Music. I just did a video a little bit ago, about 2 hours ago on geez, I forgot now. Wow, who was that I did the video on? Wow, I can't believe I can't remember. I just did it a little while ago. Oh, sheesh. Who was it on? Oh man, I can't believe I can't remember that. Oh, wow. Give me a second here. That who I was thinking about. Franz Botha. Let me see. I can't believe I can't remember who I just did a video on 2 hours ago. That's crazy. Oh, Dan Marino and John Elway. Jeez, man, that's crazy. I couldn't remember that. So yeah, I did a video on John Elway. It was just a quick live 30-minute video. Then last night I did about a 3-hour video with Carlos. Marky Mark jumped on. So that was cool. And then late last night, I dropped something on Dusty Rhodes and Superstar Billy Graham. And then I did what was it? Actually, at the closing of Truck or Treating, I did a little thank you video and wished everybody a happy Halloween at the end. And then earlier today, I did a Mike Schmidt, Nolan Ryan video. That one was pretty good. But for tomorrow, between 2 and 3 p.m. Pacific time, um, I got a video with hopefully Tom from Armchair is gonna stop by. Probably have Carlos on with me, and maybe Nelson and Agnostics, hopefully. And that's gonna be about how. And I just heard this a little while ago. Michael Francis had Karen Gravano on there, and of course she's with the narrative that Gotti single-handedly brought down the whole thing, which that's a crock of shit. And we're going to touch on that and bounce off each other and have a conversation about who I feel was responsible. Nobody single-handedly was responsible, but it was a collective of things that was going on during those late 80s and early 90s with the Third Colombo Internal War, the bodies that were being left out there. Amuso and Caso with the Lucchese's, all the bodies they were leaving out there, right? Also, Scarfo and Philly, the killings they were doing, the Rico, the Rico was the main thing, you know what I mean? So to just say that Gotti single-handedly brought him down, and then too, like the video I did earlier was on Sammy the Bull, and you got to take everything what he says with a grain of salt, because like most of those cooperators, they like to make themselves look like the heroes. They did everything righteous. They were stand-up, genuine people, you know what I mean? And I don't buy a lot of the shit he says, straight up. You know what I mean? Danny Stories, good morning. Good morning, chat. Danny Stories, I haven't seen you in a minute. So, anyways, so we're gonna do a video tomorrow on that issue, that topic, that John Gotti did not bring down the whole thing single-handedly. You know what I mean? And also in that video on Michael Francis' channel, she's saying that he would come out and basically show off in front of the cameras. But if you look at her father, he never acted like he didn't want to be on the camera. You catch him grabbing his stuff, you know what I mean? Just you know what I mean? Just bull crap. And then also they say that he used to have guys come down to his office in Brooklyn, in Stillwell Avenue, and have a bunch of guys coming by his office. You know what I mean? It's just a crock of crap. The dude was not made to do time. When he got busted that second time, he went down and he had nothing to give nobody. So of course he had to go to prison. There was nothing else they were gonna do. They gave this guy, his life, a second chance on a silver platter, right? The biggest deal in the history of the United States government. This guy admitted to be involved in 19 murders, was given 5 years. And then in his 302s, what he sworn testimony in front of these agents said that he never dealt in drugs. And because Gas Pipe said he did, they tore up Gas Pipe's agreement. And, he turns around within a couple of years, and guess what? He gets busted selling dope. Been a while, bro. Sorry. Been a while. Sorry, bro. Haven't been in a lot of the chats lately, but I like your content. Yeah. No, I'm just joking around. I haven't been in a lot of chats. I'll be honest with you. I don't got time for it. Straight up. A lot of the content is just the same shit over and over every day for the past couple of months. I don't have time for it, bro. And on top of that, people are being accused, such as myself, of something that I did not do. You know what I mean? And people are just buying it and rolling with it. I don't need them type of people, around me, straight up. So I'm gonna do my thing. They could do their thing. Everybody can do their thing, and it's all good in Hollywood. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so I'm looking forward to having Tom on today. He hasn't been on yet, and he has a lot of knowledge of things too. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm done with it all too, Lou. Yeah, it's just the same. It's the same stuff every day by a lot of these different content creators. The same stuff every day. And then you got some of them that act so righteous, and then the same stuff they're complaining about the so-called other side, they're doing it too. Two wrongs don't make a right, bro. I'm cool with you and the no-fly zone. You guys have always been good to me. Yeah, exactly. And I'm pretty sure too by, Danny, you've interacted with me in comments. You've jumped. We've been on the live at least once together on different channels. You know, we've had conversations back and forth. You see me on numerous panels. What I'm getting to is, by now, you know, you can tell by my character that, you know, in the way I talk, and I don't even like to be taken out of character where I'm cussing and stuff like that. You know, I definitely don't call people bitches or punks on here. I don't do that, because me calling a man a bitch or a punk, I'm not giving you the opportunity to get with me. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think anybody should do that. But anyways, besides all that, man, I think I've proved with my character on here that I'm not about that, bro. You know what I'm saying? I don't have nobody on here means that much to me, having significance in my life where I'm going to be trying to search and find information on people. That's just not my thing. Period. I got enough things going on with my family, my own life. I don't have time for all that. You know what I mean? You're right. You do what you like. Keep doing it. Yeah, exactly. You know, I'm all over the place, bro. Like, I've been doing sports profiles, you know, professional wrestling, boxing, football, basketball, baseball. You know, I'll talk about prison stories. I'll talk about mob stories. And basically, bro, however I feel that day is what I drop, to be honest. You know what I mean? Um, it just is what it is, you know. But at the end of the day, this is a grind. Like, you know, Danny, you've been doing this for a little minute. You know, both you and myself and the No Fly Zone, and we haven't. Not to say that we, you know, it just hasn't took off as quick for us as other channels, you know. But it is what it is, and a lot of people, if you listen to their stories when they talk about their channels, uh, you know, it takes them a while. It takes them a minute, bro. I heard this dude named Jay Williams. He has a good channel. He's from Virginia, but he's been to prison in Pennsylvania and in Virginia. He's a success story. He owns his own business. He's doing well for himself. He has currently like 300,000 subs, or real close to it. And he said that it took him like a year and a half to get monetized. You know what I mean? Not to say I'm trying to get monetized, but if it happens, it happens. You know what I mean? I just do my thing every day, and I don't worry about you know, I just don't play that shit, to be honest. Just paying my respects. We keep it real. Love you. Hey, what's up, Dindu? Are you already at work? 7 a.m., right? You probably just starting. Hey, I still interact with John Wolf when a lot of people don't. Yeah, and I don't, and that's the thing. You interact with whoever you want to interact. At the end of the day, that's your business. You're your own man, right? But you got people now that they're trying to, you know, paint the picture that, you know, basically trying to bully people. Like, if and it's crock of shit too, because I had somebody jump in my live the other day and talk shit, and straight up, first there was somebody that jumped in there that I never even seen the guy, and he's saying, "Oh, did you get permission from did you get permission from Chicago Muscle to be on this platform?" And I'm like, "Yeah, okay." And Agnostics was with me on the panel, and Agnostics said something vulgar. All of a sudden, the dude he says something vulgar about pops up in the chat, and he's talking shit. Well, there was a few cats in the chat with me. I don't want to even say their names. It doesn't even matter. But one of the three he went after talking shit. But one of them is a, you know, pretty big. He has a pretty decent sized platform, 5,400 people, whatever it is, 5,400 people, and he has a pretty big following. And he has people that have his back where they'll go at you, you know. And of course, the one guy, which I believe both of these guys were the same person, he tells the one guy with the 5,400 subs, "Oh, you get a pass." Oh, okay, he gets a pass, right? You know what I mean? Good morning, Bella, Black Hat. Buongiorno, buongiorno, buona fortuna. Yes, sir. So yeah, I dropped that video on Dan Marino and John Elway a little bit ago. This one was on Azuma Nelson and Wilfredo Gomez. Again, if you guys don't mind, go check. Oh yeah, I'm not doing that. The $4.99 monthly members. No. I can't. I'm not doing all that. I'm not doing all that. You know what? And a lot of channels are doing that. And I started noticing when I go to the live chats that I can't even comment. And then somebody told me you can't comment because it's a membership show, basically. I guess something like that. I don't really get it. You know what I mean? I don't get it. I just got tested positive for. Oh yeah. That's not. Yeah, I hope you don't feel too. You know, hopefully it doesn't hit you that bad. It knocked the crap out of me for a couple of weeks. The worst was the first 3 or 4 days. I was laying down where I was sweating a lot and then freezing, and then you know, it took my appetite. It didn't mess with my taste buds, but I was coughing up stuff and and all that. So hopefully, I don't know if you had the V's, the sets of the V's and the booster. I didn't get them. I don't believe in it. I don't know what's in that crap, so I didn't do it. But my old lady got sick, and she had all that, and it was mild for her. She still was able to work out and go to the park and do her walking routine that she does. So we had it twice, huh? Yeah. So yeah. Thin dudes, if you're still here, my son's little pit he got for graduation. His uncle gave him to him for graduation. Has parvo, man. So he got out of work early, him and my daughter, and they came back home early today, and he took her to the vet, and she tested positive for parvo. So I've had 4 dogs that had it. 2 of them, unfortunately, I explained this earlier, I wasn't aware of all of it, and I wasn't attached to the puppies. I had just got them. And so anyways, looking back on it, if I would have known what I was dealing with, I would have treated it. But one of my main dogs, Rojo, which means red, he got it. And what I did was I had this kid that lived across the street from me ride him down on the bike to the vet, and I met him there. It was only like 2 blocks. And the vet took him in and hooked him up on the IV. And every day I had to go pay $90. And he was out of there in like 6 days or 7 days. And then his son ended up catching it, and I treated him at home with those big pills, and you put them in their mouth, and you make them swallow it by holding their mouth closed, and you give him the fluids, and he beat it. Because last night Carlos was on, he wasn't aware of what parvo was, and then when I looked it up, it said it attacks their throat, and then their intestines and all that. And then, yeah, right here, Black Hat said parvo can be rough. Yeah, from what it said is that it's within 3 days they can die, and it's true. It's true, and it comes from um a dog eating another dog's shit that was infected. You know what I mean? And pit bulls seem to get it very easy because, like I said, I had 4 of them that caught it. And then once you have this stuff, it gets in the ground. So if the soil, it goes into the dirt and it lives. And if you're on concrete, like say if you got kennels on concrete, I suggest bleaching it and scrubbing it with a push broom, and use that water and get in and clean it up. Sorry, Lou, I had to do some work and wasn't on the chat. Sorry, Lou, I had to do some work and wasn't on the chat. You mean what, at work right now? Or what are you talking about? All right, Lou, take care of that. Yeah, so anyways, my daughter's asking me, and I'm thinking that they're getting at me because they need help paying it or something, because they don't get paid till next week. He just started working with her Friday, so he's got to work. He's got a week, how that works with a week in the hole. I'm not sure if they get paid weekly or is it bi-weekly, but either way, he just started Friday, so he has that week in the hole. So I was like, well, is it a 24-hour place or what? Or what's the name of it? Because I was gonna call and try to pay over the phone or whatever. Because I know how that feels, man. Having dogs and you can't save them because you don't have the money. Back in when I was in high school, I got a phone call to come home from school. I was like 16 at the time, so I'm riding the bike home, and something told me something was matter with the dog, my animals, and we had 3 dogs at the time. My German Shepherd purebred named Fuego, my sister's German Shepherd pit mix named Geronimo, and my mom's collie like Lassie named Duke. And I knew something was wrong, man. And when I pulled up on the bike, usually they would be at the gate because they would just know I'm coming down the sidewalk. I seen the puppy just laying there. Well, he was a puppy, but he was big. He was like 10 months old. And I seen him laying there. He didn't make no movement, but I already knew something was off. And like I said, they wanted, the 2 older dogs were alive still, but they were like having seizures. What happened was they broke through the fence and went into my neighbor's yard. And he put out, and this is a neighbor that known my family before I was born. He put out a bunch of snail poison. And what happened was these dogs ate it up because I guess it's sweet, like it's kind of got a sweet smell to it, like antifreeze. So they started eating it up, and they started having seizures. And the puppy, unfortunately for the pup, he ended up eating too much and died there. The 2 bigger dogs, which are older, stronger immune system, they were taken off, and they wanted a lot of money from my mom to pump their stomachs, which my mom didn't have at the time. We were in the middle of losing the house. And so, yeah, it was all bad. So, I know he's had them since he graduated which is already about, let me see, I think he graduated in April or May he graduated. So, he's already had this animal for 4 or 5 months. He's real attached to her already, so, if I can help out, I'll do it. I'm going to be honest. I can't go against you if you ever need done. What? I'm going to be honest. I can't go against you if you have never done me wrong. Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, yeah, man. I don't get it, man. You know what? There's certain content creators. You watch them as well. They unfortunately they don't show their face. They don't use their real names, and they just throw anything out there. And people in the chat, they'll comment like, "Oh my God, really? And it's about me." And I'm like, "Come on, peoples, man. These are people that actually came on the screen with us, came to our show. Our show was the first show they ever came onto the screen with." And it just drives me nuts. I mean, I don't care. You don't like me, okay? You don't like me. You don't like me for something I said, something I did, okay? You don't like me because at one point I had came on Jimmy's show a couple times when he was talking about real stuff, but when he made them comments about rats are the winners and people that don't tell are the losers, and the government's buying him, the Justice Department. Oh no, I'm not with that, and I couldn't support that. I'm gone. At the time, the few shows I went on with him, it was about what to do to stay out of prison and real life shit about getting at kids about things, right? I was with that. I wasn't a criminal more, so I wasn't. And I always made the comment that, hey, oh boy, did what he did, he would have to answer for that one day. I always made that clear. But when you're gonna make just a straight up lie about me and say, oh, I gave people's information and their kids' information and families' information, and then you're gonna be up there after this guy said that. Now you're gonna be up there saying that 100% that I did do it. You know what I mean? Then I call them out on it, and they don't even want to answer my comments in the section. Luckily, a content creator was there, and she started reading them for my comments. You know what I mean? Otherwise, they wouldn't have touched it. And then now they're talking about, oh well, if you didn't do it, we'll apologize. And it's like, no, you said that you knew 100% that I did this. You know what I mean? But now I'm told that I need to show the proof that I didn't do it. How do I show proof about phone calls that never were made? Or an information that never was given? How do I show proof of that? Shouldn't the person that is accusing me of doing it have to show the proof? And then not even a couple minutes later, the same individual says, oh, I'm tired of this he said, she said stuff. If you're going to make accusations about people, show the proof. Well, there it is there. You know what I mean? I lost a puppy to parvo. The vet said to wait at least 6 months for the virus to die down in the house. Yeah, exactly. It's hard to bleach the inside of the house, and parvo stays. Yeah, exactly. And so if it stays in the carpet, just imagine what it does in the soil, in the dirt. Nobody tells me who to be cool with. If someone gets shady and disrespectful, I'll cut them off. That's it. Yeah, exactly. I don't cause drama. I try not to. Exactly. I don't either. Damn, what's parvo? So parvo is a disease, is a sickness that the dogs get and cats get, but they can't get it from each other. At least that's what I read yesterday. Here, I'll break it down right now. Canine parvovirus is called, right? It's referred to as a CPV or CPV2 or parvo. It's a contagious virus mainly affecting dogs. CPV is highly contagious and is spread from dog to dog by direct or indirect contact with their feces. Canines can prevent this infection by mortality can reach 91% in untreated cases. Treatment often involves veterinary hospitalization. Canine parvovirus often infects other mammals, including foxes, wolves, cats, and skunks. Felines are also susceptible to panleukopenia, a different strand. Signs. Dogs that develop the disease show signs of illness within 3 to 10 days. The signs may include vomiting, fever, diarrhea, usually bloody. Exactly. And it has a certain smell to it. And it's obvious too. You can see it in the dog's eyes, man. You can just see it. Generally, the first sign of CPV is lethargy. Second signs are loss of weight and appetite or diarrhea, followed by vomiting. Diarrhea and vomiting result in dehydration that upsets the electrolytes. So that's what I mentioned earlier. You give the dogs, it's like a Pedialyte drink. You know, when you take care of them at home. When you're at the vet, they hook an IV to them that has that already in the IV. You know what I mean, in the medication. But it has it has a smell to it. Diagnosis is made through detection of CPV2 in the feces by either an ELISA or a hemoglobination test or electronic microscopy. So yeah, you see the blood and the diarrhea, and is a low white blood cell count and necrosis of the intestinal lining. Also point more towards parvovirus, especially in an unvaccinated dog. So you got to make sure that your animals, when you get dogs, you usually, if you get them from a breeder, usually they give them the first and second shot. Sometimes they will not get rid of the puppies until they give them all three shots. So it's a 3 series. You give them the first one, and then 4 to 6 weeks later you give them the second one, and then 4 to 6 weeks later after that you give them the third one. Then they're usually good, and then you give them another one a year after that. Once you give them those, they usually don't catch it. Treatment survival rate depends on how quickly CPV is diagnosed, the age of the dog, and how aggressive the treatment is. There is no approved treatment, and the current standard of care is supportive care involving extensive hospitalization due to severe dehydration and potential damage to the intestinal and bone marrow. The CPV test should be given as early as possible if CPV is suspected in order to begin early treatment. Supportive care ideally also consists of crystalloid IV fluids and/or colloids, e.g., Hesta starch, anti-nausea injections such as meropitant. A lot of these words I can't read. So most importantly is the fluids. So like I said, you get it's like a Pedialyte and Gatorade type deal. You know what I mean? Because they're dehydrated. You know, I know that for a fact because I've been through this. Yeah, parvo is a deadly disease. Exactly, Big Lou. Yeah, it ain't no joke. It ain't no joke, especially pit bulls, man. And these animals can die quick. I mean, in a matter of, like I said, it says 3 to 10 days. Usually, I want to say it's probably like within 5 or 6 days they die. It's deadly, man, and it has to be taken care of. So that's why I tell people, man, if you're gonna get dogs, you have to take care of them. It's like having an additional family member. They need to have their 9-in-1 shots. They need to have their checkup with the vet, you know, because certain breeds carry certain diseases, certain like German Shepherds, you know, Dobermans, they have hip problems. You know, that's just one example, you know, and you have to stay on top of things, man. You can't just get a dog, throw them in the backyard, and you know, that's it. You know, you got to, it takes a lot. You got to show them care. You got to show them love. You got to show them, you know, you got to, they can't do for themselves just like a child can't do for themselves. They can't feed themselves. They can't, you know, they can't take care of themselves, period. Habib, let's see what we got here. I'm watching 2 lives, yours and Tommy's. Yeah, that's what's up. See, I think I would go bankrupt to take care of my Vito. Yeah, straight up. You know, it's not, like I just said, it's important that you take care of your animals, man. You cannot, like I said, again, you can't just get a dog, throw them in the backyard, you know, and then get another dog to be a companion, and then you don't even, you know, you don't even go out there and clean up after them. You don't, on a, you know, regular basis, feed them and give them water. You know, you got to feed them animals every day. You know what I mean? It depends on how much food you put in the bowl. If it's one day, or I mean, once a day or twice a day, you know what I mean? But you have to take care of your animals, man. You can't just neglect them like that. You know, you got to make sure you get those vet visits and get them shots as needed, rabies shots, the 9-in-1s, and anything else they may need. You know, I remember I had a chow chow where his eyes, he would always get the, you know how like when we sleep, when we wake up, we have that junk in our eyes. Well, he would get that really bad all through his eyes. So I'd always have to take a warm rag and I'd wipe his eyes every day. You know what I mean? And then you get like eye drops for that, or they'll give you some type of antibiotics for that. You know, a lot of like I said, again, a lot of breeds have issues that the bloodline, you know, the breed they are, you know, has problems with. You know what I mean? There's a lot of different ones. I just gave the little quick example about the German Shepherds. You know what I mean? And that's another thing too. Research the dogs the breed that you want to get, because not all dogs are the same when it comes to their attitudes and their personalities. You know, you got to make sure you have the right area for an animal. I have my two Shelties are like kids. Yeah, those are nice little dogs, like miniature collies. Yeah, it's like having a child. There are yeah, exactly. That was like and then two, like with the animal, with the kids, you got to be consistent, right? So we had a German Shepherd not too long ago and we had an apartment, man. That was a no no. You know, here I come home from work and they're letting this guy stand on the counter. And what I mean by that is standing up with his paws on the counter and he's just grabbing everything off the table, off the counters, you know, and they're allowing him to do this. And then when I come home, I get out, you know, and they're like, they're not telling him nothing because they're letting him get away with it. I love Vito more than I love myself. I'm done being told I can't be friendly with this person or this group by someone who doesn't pay my damn electric bill. I'm done with this taking sides BS. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and then and two, you know, it's just nonsense, man. The narrative that's being pushed around here, well, not around here, but on different channels, coming at my boy Carlos, making up lies about me. You know, I don't got time for it. I don't see how some people can't see what's going on there, because the manipulation game by some people are just so watered down and weak. It's right there. I don't, you know. But then again, a lot of people ain't with the confrontation. They're not with the, you know, the BS, the drama, so they don't even touch it. They just, you know, and this is another thing I'm seeing way too much from different people that I thought were, you know, cool, you know, where they have spoke up for me or Carlos in the past. Whatever channel they're on, they go with that narrative. Whatever that person's saying about us, they'll be in the chat talking about, oh, okay, I didn't know that. Oh, thanks for telling us. And then later on, they're coming to my videos and making comments about brother this, brother that. I mean, miss me with that shit, man. You know what I mean? Same. I didn't cry when my dad died, but I cried like a baby when I had to give my cat away. Yeah, so it's nonsense, man. It's nonsense, and you know, I'm not gonna feed into it and talk shit about it every day, because that's what they want. Because there's different narratives being pushed now, where it's kind of like, I'll just say this, uh, reinventing some of their shit. Jerry, in my case, Vito stopped the crying and pain for me when I lost my father. Yeah, that's another thing too. Animals are very like they have these companion animals, right? For depression and all that, and the animals really work. You know what I mean? Straight up. Now you know why, and I guess you could say that's why a lot of old people had pets, because you know maybe their spouse passed away or whatever. You know what I mean? And the dog and the animal, you know, fills that void. You know, brings back happiness to them. I just do my thing. I try to keep away from drama, but it's hard to avoid. Yeah, it's hard to avoid because they're coming to your channel. You know what I mean? I'm not saying you in general. I'm just saying people, your channel. If you have a channel, they're coming, because like I said earlier, that asshole, that's Mr. Tough Guy, can whip everybody's ass. Everybody's a bitch. Everybody's a punk. He's the baddest motherfucker there is. Everything about his life's perfect. He's a war hero, and 3 generations of his family's war heroes. His wife's still a 10 after 30 years of marriage. You know, all that bullshit. You know what I mean? Comes to my channel and runs his mouth, and I still didn't block him. He made like 3, 4 comments talking shit. You know what I mean? And I still didn't block him. And I said, you know what? I'll drop the link. Come on in. And of course, he's not. Do you think animal will marry humans? Do you think animal will marry humans? What the hell? I got to get to work. Can't type. Big Lou, have a great. Yeah, you too, Danny. Thanks for stopping by, bro. Bye, everyone. Danny Story says. Yeah, I wish you a blessed, positive, and productive day today at work on this hump day, baby, baby. 2 days to payday. You know what I mean? There's no money in having peace. Monetization is everything. Yeah, man. And that's the thing. It's like, you know what I mean? It's like, it seems like you just got to have drama in order for these people to make money. I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like going to. Then that's why I stepped away from a bunch of shows, because it was always, he's a bitch, he's a sucker, he's a suck my this, or you know, threatening to whip somebody's ass. Yet no punch has been thrown, let alone a slap being landed. You know, I got sick of it, and there was shows I stepped away from and me talking to somebody in private, he turns around and makes it sound like I'm talking shit about one person, which I wasn't. And then, you know, according to him, I'm supposed to go out there and denounce everything that I don't like. No, 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 no. That's not how I get down. I just stop watching. You know, it's that simple. You know what I mean? It's that simple. Yeah, Black Hat's on a roll. Richard Hutchinson, make money for big corporate company. Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, because at the end of the day, and this is something new that I heard is coming out by YouTube starting in January. I heard that content creators on their channel will not be allowed to talk derogatory about other content creators. So I guess you would have to say their names, I guess, for them to know who you're talking about. I don't know how that's going to work, but somebody sent me that message the other day, which I don't do that. I don't normally do that, but I did speak up for myself. You know, like I said, again, when a lie is being put out about me, I'm going to speak up for myself, especially that type of lie. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's going to be interesting to see if that is in fact true, because at the end of the day, you know, some of these guys are making decent money every month where they're pocketing, you know, 2,000-3,000, maybe a little bit more. So if they're making that, you know, YouTube's making what? I think YouTube makes 30% off the super chat and super stickers. So just imagine if they're making, you know, say just off YouTube alone, not counting PayPal or Cash App, you know, if they're making $2,000-3,000, then you know, then YouTube's making at least 1,000, right? So just imagine all those different channels. YouTube has been strange lately. Notification, yeah, exactly. I haven't been getting notifications. And by the time I notice, channels are dropping, have already dropped like 3 or 4 videos. But I'll be honest with you too, I've unsubbed to a lot of channels, especially those bigger channels that won't even give you the time of day of either sending you a message back like thanks, or even a like of the comment. You know what I mean? Which I believe, I mean, don't get me wrong, I know a lot of these channels get a lot of comments, but I think over a period of days you should be able to answer back. You know what I mean? YouTuber copy each other work. YouTuber copy each other work. I don't know what work you're talking about, because a lot of these ones we're speaking of don't even do content. They just talk shit. It's a business hobby. Yeah, YouTube will follow whatever helps them. Exactly. So that's why it's going to be interesting to see if this is really true about them cracking down on all the shit talking. I don't know. We'll see. $4.99 memberships. I send monthly to St. Jude, Wounded Warriors, Make-A-Wish, and Red Cross. Not to someone spewing hate on YouTube asking for cat. Yeah, yeah, man. And that's another thing. Like these so-called this side, that side, like motherfuckers on the side is bitching about a certain content creator asking for money. They're doing the same shit. I mean, I hear 3 or 4 times them say, hey, the Cash App is posted there, you know, which there's nothing wrong with that, you know. Like even here with me, I'm not monetized, but I have a Cash App, right? And I haven't even put it up here, not once. You know, it is in my about section, but it's not here, or my description in my about section, whatever. But I haven't put it here. You know what I mean? So it's just to each his own, right? You know, you can make money. I just don't like it when it's like a threat. It's made in a threat. Like, in other words, give me the money or I'm out of here. I'm going to end this. It ain't even worth it for me. Well, maybe you should step your game up and start doing some content. You know, the problem with that is motherfuckers are lazy and they don't want to do no writing or any type of, however you decide to brainstorm on how you're going to do your content. Like me, I write things down, you know what I mean, with a pen, you know, then later I'll read it back when I do the video on the, you know, certain things I want to hit, you know, points, you know. I'm gonna get a Cash App, LOL, screw it. Yeah, why not? I mean, you know, you could put it on the banner on the bottom where it scrolls on the bottom. You can say it verbally. You can put it in the chat. However you want to do it. It's your business. You know what I mean? I guess why not? I mean, you know, it is what it is, you know? I mean, you know, Black Hat Music says he has his monthly ones he donates to, and those are some good ones. Make-A-Wish, St. Jude, Wounded Warriors, and Red Cross. I think those are probably some of the best ones there are right there, you know? I try to help out people here and there with not cash apps, but super chats and super stickers. But you know, I mean, come on, if I'm watching like 5-10 different channels and I like the channels, man, that's a lot of money. $5 for 10 channels. You know, I got kids and grandkids. I can, you know, use that for that. I just feel strange asking people, but if they offer, why not? Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. You do your point by posting it either in your
You can put it in your about section, or like I said, you can put it on the screen as a banner, or drop it in the comment section. Like, hey, people, you know, you don't even have to say nothing; they'll see it. You know what I mean? And then people will decide if they want to drop money or not. You know, until you get to that 1,000, that's the only way you're gonna get money. Cash App, Venmo, what do they got? Zelle and Cash App, right? Or no, Cash App, PayPal, Zelle, and Venmo. And then I don't know what else, if there's any more. Me personally, I just got Cash App. That's it. You know, so it is what it is. But that's an option that you have. You know, YouTube lets you put that in there. You could put it in there if you want. Can anybody answer me in the chat with either yes, give me a Y or an N? Can you guys see my avatar, or is it just a blank circle? Because it's weird. Because sometimes the the avatar will pop up in the. Because I can see it here in the StreamYard, and when people come on the StreamYard with me, they can see it. But in the actual YouTube, sometimes it's there and sometimes it's not. Let me see. Actually, I can probably see myself too. Okay, so Jerry says yes. See, that's a trick. Sometimes, like I think yesterday when I did it, it wasn't showing. So yeah, it is showing. Yeah, because I just went to the YouTube on the other phone. Um, okay, that's cool. So yeah, make sure to hit that like button. Um, anybody, everybody, and then also anybody that, because I don't get a lot of people in my lives, but I noticed there is a certain time frame where I'll get anywhere from 10 to 20. You know, I don't have a lot of subscribers, so it is what it is, which is cool. Um, Yesterday, just the white circle. Yeah, exactly what I'm saying. Um, um, so you know that's decent for me. You know, and I'm still on the grind. I'm reaching out to different channels. I did 4 videos with Harvey at Harvey Talks Prisons. He's a ex-lifer that did 29 years and got out. He defended his little brother who was abused by somebody, and you know he did what he did and took him out, and but he ended up getting out, and he's from the state of Missouri, so it's a little different from Missouri to California. Actually, a lot different, the politics. So I did 4 videos with him, and again, that's Harvey at Harvey Talks Prison. If you guys don't mind, go over there and check them out. Check out the videos I did. I also did a video with Luke GTV, somewhat of an interview, I guess. I ran down some of my prison career, 12 years I did. Um, I got something with I Talk. If they only knew, should be doing something with them. I'm hoping still to do something with Chad at Blood on the Razor Wire. Also looking to do some things with Lance from Off the Yard with Big Lance. Looking to do something with Big Weavy. Also Vegas Prison Stories. Also Stay Awake TV. And then I reached out to some people. I reached out to some people on Instagram. And then, like I mentioned the other day, I got a cousin that's a pretty well-known comedian. I had got at him about coming on the no-fly zone, and he told me at the time when I got at him, because he's ex-Navy, he was actually at an event in Georgia, a military event. So he's big on going to the, different bases and Camp Pendleton and stuff, something like that, and doing shows. And so I'm hoping to bring him on here at some point. And like I said, I reached out. I also had got at somebody who has a pretty big platform at that time when I got at him, which is almost 2 months now. He was going to come on the No Fly Zone on September 13th, which was a Tuesday. That was the only day he was open. And at that time, he had 70,000 subs. I don't know where he's at now. Unfortunately, that's when I got sick. So the day that he was actually supposed to come on was like my first day that I started moving around, and I gave him a message, but I was supposed to have him come and have a little meeting with us 4 or 5 days prior to that, so we could at least advertise it that he was going to be coming on. And unfortunately, that was during the time I was sick. So he said, maybe we can probably do something later. So yeah, I'm hoping to reach back out to him. And then I got a few other guys, people that I've got at. One guy was in a TV show on A&E. We'll see what happens with that. You know what I mean? And just, I'm just like I said earlier, this is a grind, you know. So I'm in it for the long haul. I'm in it for the grind. You know what I mean? If you guys haven't, go check out that video from yesterday. It was about Sammy the Bull and about taking what he says with a grain of salt. You know, I believe he embellishes a lot, and he tries to make the Gotti family, especially, you know, to look lesser than. You know, and you know, I had Carlos on also today. I'm gonna do a video on later, some like I said, between 2 and 3 my time, Pacific time, so it'll be 5 to 6 Eastern time. Armchair should be coming on with me. I already talked to him yesterday. Hopefully he'll come on, and we'll have Carlos and maybe agnostics, and then anybody else that, you know, got some input on that um, topic. And it's going to be about, you know, John Gotti always gets the blame for bringing down the mob single-handedly, which that's a crock of shit. You know what I mean? And we're going to touch on that, and you know, we'll see if anybody has a different perspective about it, and also, you know, just have a conversation and bounce off each other. Uh, you know, because it's always good when you have, you know, there's only so much I can say when I have a certain topic. You know what I mean? You know, I'm not talking about like the profiles with the sports players, but I'm talking about like a legit topic. You know, it's always good to have somebody else or 2 people or 3 people to bounce off each other, you know, and have different perspectives, or like I said, just a conversation. You know what I'm saying? It always goes fast, and we end up being on easy 2.5, 3 hours, and it goes like that. You know what I mean? So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to have Tom come on. You know, hopefully he can maybe advertise it on his channel, and then we can get some, you know, more people in the chat, and you know, and they can start asking questions and putting their input in too, and we can feed off that as well. You know what I mean? And so that's what I'm looking forward to on that. Um, and I think I dropped some short. I've been dropping shorts here and there, and the reason I've been doing lives, and I know, like, again, I don't get many people in the actual chat or watching it while I do the live, like the one I did a little while ago on the on Dan Marino and John Elway. I only had one person that stopped in and didn't even say nothing. You know what I mean? But I know they'll come back and watch it. I usually get a lot of people that will watch it after it's uploaded. You know what I mean? But the reason why I drop lives anyways, because I can drop. I know how to put a thumbnail with it. I don't know how to do a thumbnail on a pre-record yet. So, you know, I was supposed to get with somebody yesterday, Tuesday, and he was supposed to start helping me out on some of this stuff. I didn't realize it in his message that he said get at him around lunchtime. I didn't even see that. So by the time I got at him, it was 4:30, 5 o'clock p.m. And I believe where he's at, he's somewhere like Tennessee or something. So he's a couple hours ahead of me. So anyways, I didn't get it through to him. So I'm gonna try again today, and I'm hoping to figure, because I have some apps that I download that people gave me the name of, but I can't figure out how to put the video with the thumbnail. So hopefully I can. This guy's gonna help me with an intro, you know, and some music, and help me figure out how to do the thumbnails on the pre-record, because I try to do it through the StreamYard, because the StreamYard gives you the opportunity. I mean, not the opportunity, the option of a pre-record or a new record, right? Which is the live. The live is like the new record and the pre-record. But when I download the pre-record, it tells me that my Bytron or something, I forgot, I screenshotted it. It says it's too big and I can't use it. So I don't know what's up with that. So, and then by the time I wait for that to download the video, it takes like 30 minutes and it's just a waste of time. So at some point here, I need to figure out how to put the thumbnail with the pre-record. And once I do that and figure that out, then I'll just do a live probably once, maybe twice a week. And I'll just focus on pre-record videos with thumbnails, obviously, and shorts here and there, you know, because that's usually what it takes, man. Some of these guys, one of my partners in the circle named Frank from Frank's Positive Vibes, check him out. He dropped a short video that he got like, originally he went from having like 400 subscribers, and he dropped this video in the first couple of days. He had like 700,000 views on it. And now it's been like 2 or 3 weeks. He has well over 1 million views. And then he went from having, like I said, maybe 400 subs. Within 3 or 4 days, he was pushing close to 1,000. and then he hit the 1,000 mark, and then not even 2 days later, he was at 4,000 subs because that one short video. Another guy, Big Weeby, he was at like 400 maybe a month and a half ago. Then a month ago, he got to about 600 something subs. Now he's well over 2,000. And again, with the short, he got like 40, 50,000 views in a couple of days. And then a couple of days later, it was like double that. And then a couple of days later after that, it was like 200,000 views. And that's what put him over the 1,000. But in both cases, neither guy was monetized because majority of their views were from shorts. And the shorts don't count towards your watch time. I mean, it counts towards your watch time, but it doesn't count. Let me see. It counts. I think they commute it, they calculate it, but they don't, it doesn't go towards your 4,000 watch hours to go along with the 1,000 subscribers, something like that. Tommy Sticks is live now. I'm watching both of you at the same time. I appreciate that. Thanks. People forget that the RICO Act was already getting them. Yeah, exactly. So that's the ultimate tool, was the RICO. But at that same time, the Gotti was in control on the streets. You had the Lucchese's killing a lot of people, leaving them in the streets. You had the Colombo third family internal war. They left like 14 bodies on the street, not to mention all the guys that got shot. You had Scarfo up in Philly was leaving bodies on the streets. He was literally going to any drug dealer, any gangbanger, any biker, anybody who was doing criminal activity, and they pushed up on him saying they wanted a cut. You know what I'm saying? And they got into problems over that. Example, I collect baseball cards. I would like to jump on with Bay 8 and talk cards one day, but if I did that, I would get crucified and doxxed. No win situation. Sick of this taking sides. I think Jerry, does Jerry do Jerry, you do cards too? I thought somebody else did cards. I used to be big in cards when I was younger. My brother is almost 60 years old. He still collects cards, and my dad was doing it for a while. I don't know if my dad gave all what he had to my brother. I think he might have. I heard they're changing that monetization for the short. That's what I heard too. Because you got some of them people that have a ton of followers like that. I don't know if you guys seen that Furha family. It's Furrha. They're like Palestinians or something. And they have their kids, Nader, Rocky, Kais, Linda's the daughter, and then they got another daughter that lives across the street, and they have millions of subs. I don't know if it's like I can't remember the number exactly. If it's like 3 million, 4 million, 5 million, and when I look at their videos, it's all shorts. You know what I mean? And then you have that other husband and wife, which is Moon, the Vietnamese lady, and her dad's now in the videos, and her husband is a white dude with the glasses, and he wears a hat all the time. They started doing things together, so that was pretty cool. Yeah, Scarfo was psycho. Nah, I used to though. Okay, I just thought you were. So yeah, it's you know what? You can you can come on. You can come on here if you want to do a show about baseball cards. I mean, I know something about baseball cards. You know what I mean? I know that Mickey Mantle Bowen 1952 is where it's at. You know what I mean? What's crazy about that is Willie Mays is a rookie the same season, and his card is like a fifth or sixth of the price of the Mantle. You know, then you got that 84 Flair series, or no, it's not 84. What is it? 86, I think. 86 Flair basketball. Pretty much everybody's rookie card because that was the first year. You know what I mean? I stopped in the mid 90s when the market for baseball cards exploded. Black Hat Music, I think you'll be fine, dude. Bay 8 is cool. You know, he'd be fine with Bay 8, but what he's saying is that he'd be crucified by other people, the so-called other side. You know what I mean? You know, Joey seems real cool, but I would get turned on. Yeah. You know, and that's the thing too with a lot of people. People know what's right from wrong, and they know that some of these things that people are doing is bullshit. But a lot of them will not rock the boat because they're afraid that they're gonna either be gone, that they're gonna go at them, or if they know anything about their personal life, they're afraid that things are gonna be put out there. You know what I mean? It is what it is. It's what Carlos calls the mob mentality. You know what I mean? I have Mad and Crackle magazines. Crackle, I never heard of Crackle magazine, but I know Mad magazines. Um, Yeah, so I remember the '89 Upper Deck when that year came out. It was those two California Angels players that were co-owners of the Upper Deck. I think one was Mike DeWitt, I think, if I remember correctly, and it might have was it Wally Joyner? Man, I don't remember now. But that '89 Upper Deck, that Ken Griffey rookie card, that was what's up. I'm gonna ask, what two Angels players or co-owners for the Upper Deck baseball cards? Let's see what it says. Upper Deck Company. Boris Corbell, co-founder. Paul Sumner, co-founder. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but I thought originally it was the California Angels players um that had it, but I guess not because it says these guys are the founders. Uh, let's see, Upper Deck, which says athletes, Michael Jordan. Okay, company history. December 23rd, 88, Upper Deck was granted a license by Major League Baseball to produce baseball cards. Just 2 months later, on February 23rd, 89, delivered its first two cases of baseball cards to George Moore of Tulsa Baseball Card Store in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Their inaugural 89 set stood out from other trading cards with its glossy fronts on heavy-duty cardboard. Yeah, I do remember that. I don't know why I was thinking that actual baseball players owned it. I guess that must have been, because that's definitely what's said back then. It must have been just it must have been just a rumor. The sports card market grew from 50 million in 1980 when Topps monopoly was broken by Fleer to a 1.5 billion industry in 92. Hall of Famer Reggie Jackson served as an advisor in the early 90s. Jackson would also serve as an inspiration for the first certified autograph card inserted into trading cards with the company's Find the Reggie campaign, a massively successful promotion for the Upper Deck brand. The triple portrait of Jackson remains an iconic image among baseball card collectors. Wow. So you had, yeah, back then you had Topps. Bowman went out of business, I guess. You had Topps, you had Donruss, and you had Fleer. Those were the main ones. My favorite cards, I had said this earlier when I was doing the Nolan Ryan, Mike Schmidt profiles. The '88 Donruss, where they had the blue border, they had the MVPs of each team. Each team had one MVP card, and Mike Schmidt was the MVP for the Phillies. McGuire was the A's. No, it might have been Canseco, but I think it was McGuire because '87 he broke Frank Robinson's record for the most home runs hit by a rookie, with which was 38, and then McGuire broke it with 49, and then Aaron Judge just broke it a couple years back, I think, with 52. So I'm pretty sure McGuire was the MVP card. Andre Dawson was the MVP for the Cubs, George Bell for the Blue Jays, Dale Murphy for the Braves. Um, I remember all those cards, and it stuck out the way it said MVP on the card. Yes, I gave up on new cards when Fleer, Donruss, and so many others. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, there's so many. Just like with boxing, you got all these different sanctioning bodies: WBA, WBC, WBO, IBF, and then those are the four major ones, and you got all these other ones: IBO, IBU, IBC, NABF, NABO. You know, um, I have to be quarantined. I'm also get my house organized. Yeah, so hopefully, since you got the booster and the two series, yeah, you're still not gonna feel right, but hopefully, it's not too bad for you. You know what I mean? Hopefully, you get well, soon, back to normal. Um, I have a 55 Koufax rookie, Nolan Ryan rookie. Ooh, Nolan Ryan's rookie was a 66, right? Did you watch that profile I did on Nolan Ryan today? Sonny Koufax was his idol growing up. Um, and then within 16 months, after he went to the Angels, he had 3 no-hitters in 16 months, and he was only like 26 years old at the time. You know what I mean? And then we all know he finished with 7 no-hitters, which is the record, and he has 24 wins. He has 5,700 and some odd strikeouts and never won a Cy Young. It's crazy. I can't believe that. I can't believe that. And then Mike Schmidt hit 548 career home runs to go along with 12 All-Star appearance, 12 All-Star selections, 10 Golden Gloves, 3-time NL MVP, also 6-time Slugger, Silver Slugger Award winner, also was it 7-time or 8-time NL home run leader and 6-time RBI leader. You know what I mean? He has the most home runs by a third baseman with 548. Then you got Eddie Matthews with 512, and then you got Adrian Beltre with 477, and he also has 3,000 hits. And then you got Chipper Jones with 468. You know what I mean? And then Brooks Robinson has 18 All-Star appearances and 16 Golden Gloves, I believe it is. You know what I mean? 1955 is my favorite year. I have Koufax, Schneider, and Killebrew missing Roberto Clemente's 55 rookie. Yeah, Harmon Killebrew hit 573 home runs. And then Duke Snyder, you had at that time, you had Henry Aaron, Roberto Clemente, Willie Mays, Frank Robinson was still with the Reds, and then Duke Snyder. So you had a lot of legendary outfielders all from the NL at that same time. I'm pretty sure Nolan Ryan is 67. Okay, it might be 67. It's 66 or 67. He's got that ring with the 71 Mets, I think it is. Or there's a 69 Mets. 69 Mets. He has a World Series ring with, but he could never get himself, he couldn't ever get him his wild. He was wild. He could never get him his pitches under control in New York. And then they had Seaver and a couple other pitchers that, were pitching better than him at that time. And he was a reliever, but once he went to the Angels, when he got that phone call from the general manager of the Mets, he said, Nolan, you're going to California. He automatically thought it was the Dodgers he was going to. And then since Sandy Koufax was his idol, he was like, yeah, then he found out he was going to California Angels. But that's where he first encountered his first pitching coach, and he was able to get him under control. Or he's striking out 383 strikeouts, 329 strikeouts, 20-game winner, few times 18-game winner. If you look at Nolan Ryan has 51 records. He has 7 no-hitters. He has, I think it was 12 one-hitters. He's tied with Feller, right? Bob Feller. He has like 18 two-hitters. He has like 25 three-hitters. The dude was awesome. You know what I'm saying? To go along with everything else that I had said. I have a 1919 Ty Cobb. Whoa. But that's a remake, ain't it? Or it's really a card from 1990. That's what's up. I have a 56 Jackie Robinson. Ooh. What is that worth? Jackie Robinson. And then with Nolan Ryan, he pitched 27 seasons in the majors. He was still accomplishing big things in his 40s when he pitched for Texas. No, it's the Teal deal. The Teal deal? Tobacco. Oh, yeah, tobacco card. But you got other pitchers, too, that had over, they pitched for a long time. Don Sutton, Steve Carlton, Tom Seaver, Charlie Huff, Tommy John, the Necros, Gaylord Perry. I started checking all the pitchers back in the day, and Jim Palmer, he pitched 18 seasons. Jenkins pitched I think it was 20 seasons, 24 seasons, 22 seasons. Most all the pitchers, even checking Whitey Ford, Bob Gibson, Warren Spahn, all those old school pitchers, they all pitched anywhere from 18 to 22 seasons as well. And then checking Randy Johnson, which was 22 seasons. Clemens was 24 seasons. Schilling was 18, 19 seasons. A lot of the pitchers, they all pitched a lot. So it was a difference back in the day. Pedro Martinez, I think, was 17 or 19 seasons. The difference was back in the day, these guys went in there to pitch a complete game. You know what I mean? Now the pitchers are monitored by innings pitched because of the shoulder injuries and arm injuries. the Tommy John injuries. You know what I mean? It's a Piedmont tobacco card, 1919. Wow. What is something like that worth? Have you ever had it checked out, appraised or whatever? And I know that I'm pretty sure that Jackie Robinson 56 card got to be worth a little bit of money. 55 Killer Brew and Koufax and Duke Snyder. Those got to be worth a little bit of money too. Let's see. Last time I checked, the Cobb was about 4K. Huh. Pretty good. Yeah, you figure, man, hold on to those. Pass them down to your grandkids, your kids, or your grandkids. You know what I mean? And you never know, man. If college, college needs to be paid. I mean, a lot of different things. I paid 400 for it in the late 80s. Wow, that's what's up. So you're talking about what? Uh, what would that be? 1,000% increase? Yeah, that's what's up. All right, everybody. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and tap on out on this one. I've been on. I was only looking to be on as soon as I did the boxing and tap out, but I appreciate everybody that did stop in, and we kept going with a conversation in the chat, which was cool. You know what I mean? I appreciate it. Black Hat Music for stopping in. Bella and Friends. Jerry Habib Gambuti. Who else stopped in here? Richard Hutchinson. Indu and Vito. Danny Stories. Who else? Steve Tortola. I think that's everybody so far that tapped in. Appreciate all you guys. Highly, highly appreciate everybody. And I appreciate everybody that 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 commented here. The Robinsons only a few hundred. 56, he was a few years in the majors. What Robinson? Frank Robinson or Brooks Robinson? Yeah, I think Frank Robinson came. Well, Willie Mays came in 52. I believe Frank Robinson's rookie season was. Hank Aaron was 54, I believe. I think Frank Robinson came in at 56. I think 55, 54, maybe 54. But and that's another thing. Frank Robinson, I'm going to be doing also profiles on football, basketball, baseball, and boxing. 3 to 4 players from each of those sports that are from the East Bay, and he's one of them. For baseball, he's oh yeah, Jackie Robinson. Yeah, that's right. I think Jackie came in and I think he came in 50 at one, didn't he? In the majors, but he was in the Negro League before that. So as far as basketball, so for baseball, for example, it's going to be Frank Robinson, it's going to be Joe DiMaggio, it's going to be Ricky Henderson and Randy Johnson for baseball. For basketball, it's going to be Jason Kidd, Gary Payton, probably let me see, Jason Kidd, Gary Payton, Bill Russell, and what was the last one? I got them all written down. And then boxing is going to be Devin Haney, Nonito Donaire, Andre Ward, and then football is going to be oh man, who is it going to be for football? I forgot now. I got it written down. My man Ricky. Yeah, football. I think it was. I had maybe Tom Brady, O.J. Simpson. Actually, I don't think Tom Brady was in there. O.J. Simpson, um, Marshawn Lynch, I think. I don't know. I got him written down. I have to go back and look. But I know OJ Simpson for sure. San Francisco. Um, Marshawn Lynch is from Oakland. Trying to think. I have written down. I'll figure it out when I find my 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 notes. I mean, I got them somewhere stashed there. But anyways, all right, peoples, I'm gonna go ahead and tap on out. Um, Again, I appreciate each and every one of you guys for stopping in and taking the time to chat and hang out here with me. And also, shout out to everybody that comes later and watches it after it's uploaded. You know what I mean? I appreciate all the subs. And, for those of you that's just stopping in, watching it now, or, feel free to leave a comment in the comment section. I respond back to all the comments. Even if it doesn't have to do nothing with the video and you want to make a comment or you want to ask me something, go ahead and shoot it. You know what I mean? With that being said, again, peoples, thanks for stopping by. Big Lou's going to tap on out with what it do with Big Lou. Y'all guys already know I'm your favorite bean eating mofo, fresh off that banana boat. Baby, baby. All right, peoples. Have a blessed, positive, and productive day at work today. Or if you're off today, just have a positive, productive day, period. You know what I mean? Always remember, be safe. Always be aware of what's going around, your surroundings. And, be responsible. You know what I'm saying? That's a must. All right, peoples. Again, tapping out. Thanks for stopping in.